This is a video to show Corsair that I have two Corsair Platinum Airflow RAM fans, one on the left and one on the right, each covering 32 gigabytes of their Corsair Platinum RAM. One on the left, one on the right. Each one of these RAM fans have wires here and back here that are hidden behind the back plate of my computer. Each one of these RAM fans also has a LED connector to control each one of these RAM fans' color under their Corsair link. Their problem is trying to get both of these RAM fans LEDs connected to Corsair's Commander Mini, which only has one LED port, which I will show you when I turn the computer around. Also, while I'm on the front panel, I have installed the two RGB LED lights that I got from buying Corsair's lighting kit, which I needed to do to use their two extension cables to create a Y splitter to get the RAM fans to work under Corsair Link. So I had two additional RGB LED strips that I didn't know what to do with, because the extension cables I used to make the Y splitter. So my dilemma was to try and figure out how I was going to be able to utilize these two Corsair RGB LED strips with none of their connectors available to me. I thought that you could use standard 4-pin extension cables to connect to these things, to I can run them to the back panel of my computer, and I found that that doesn't work. If you look closely enough, this is a soldering job from an electrician that soldered the extension, which is these blue cables, to Corsair's RGB LED strip. That continues on down to the bottom of my case, and this is coming from both sides. I have one over here on the left and one over here on the right. I have an RGB LED strip on the bottom and one at the top that I purchased from Dark Side, which also go in the back, and both of these are all now connected to two controllers with a sensor that can be controlled remote controlly. As you can see down here, there are two sensors, one here and one there, that I can use this to control all four of them now. Since Corsair won't give me the opportunity to control their RGB lighting strips through using their Corsair Mini and their Corsair Link software, the only thing I can control with their Corsair Link software is the color for these two Airflow Platinum RAM fans, which I couldn't do for the wildest amount of time, because each one of these needs to be plugged into a LED port into their Corsair Mini, which only has one port. So I'll pause this and flip the computer around. Looking at the back side of my computer, I understand it's a cable nightmare mess, which I'm still working on. But you can see down in the bottom right hand corner, I have the Corsair Mini Commander connected to only 6 fans out of the 7 I have in their Corsair case. They only offer 6 fan ports, and I have 7 fan ports. And if you look closely, they only have one LED plug-in port for their LED controls for all of their LED items. That's to include their airflow RAM fan LED controls and their RGB strip controls. So you've got one port. As you can see in the center here, I have managed to take two of their extension cables and Y-split them into one port coming from up here. From one side is coming from the right side, left side of the RAM fan LED, and the other one's coming from the left side RAM LED. And then down here you can see this craziness of right here, that these two are my soldered together RGB LED strips from Corsair that I had to get soldered together in order to plug them into this white box so I can control the color of Corsair's RGB strips. So now I have two RGB strips on the top and bottom from dark side, which are controlled remotely, and now I've managed to get the two Corsair RGB LED strips plugged into the dark side controller. So all of my four LED strips can be controlled simultaneously with one remote control. None of these, however, can be controlled with Corsair Link, because Corsair Link only accepts one LED input device from one source, whether it be one LED strip or one airflow RAM fan, and that's it. So I managed to get two airflow RAM fan LEDs to work together in Corsair Link, and all four of my LEDs, two of them are which are Corsair LEDs, which I had to solder together to customize to fit into the proper connection to plug into this third-party device that remotely controls RGB LED strips, which I will show you in a second how they work. So what I have here going on is I have two LED strips, one at the top and one at the bottom, that are from dark side, which are controlled by one controller panel in the back. And you can see the sensor ports are right there, as well as one RGB LED strip on the right and one RGB LED strip on the left, both from Corsair. But unfortunately, Corsair refuses to make their connectors adaptable to anybody else's extension cables, so I had to solder them together, as I previously showed you, to get them to work with a second controller from dark side. And simultaneously and miraculously, they all work, as I will show you. We have blue, we have green, we have red, we have pink, we have flashing mode. Mind you, all four of these LED strips are not the same. Two of them are from DOS mode, and two of them from Corsair Link, Corsair website, their RGB lighting kits. I just want to warn you that if you get the two strips from Corsair, they will not be able to be connected to any other extension to get to whatever you're going to plug it into. And if you've only got one Corsair Mini, you've got one LED port to plug any RGB lighting into. And if you're using one of these airflow fans, that takes up one port. So you have to split a wire to get both those ports to go. Then, to try and get the two RGB strips to work, you have to solder extensions and utilize a third-party controller to get them to work. So I will turn off the lights on this, and I will show you in the Corsair software that the Corsair airflow RAM fans can still be adjusted even though they've been split. As you can see without the flash, if I don't have the flash going, I'm going to configure the LEDs on the right hand side. So we will just make all these purple. As you can see, they are. Or we can make them all green. Which they all now are. There's a bunch of different devices or different thousands of ways to control these, but my point is these are both now connected to the Corsair Mini through a splitter that we had to make to get plugged into their one Corsair LED port on the Corsair Mini, and it does work. And as far as their RGB LED strips, they don't have any way to be connected to the Corsair Mini, so you're going to have to use, if you buy the Corsair LGB lighting kit, you're going to have something to plug it into if your LED port is filled by your Corsair Mini from your RAM fans. So that is an alternative that we gave you as well. Anyway, any questions, send them back. Appreciate it. Looks awesome. Thank you. Bye.